Hey there, retro gamers. David here with Game Over Videogames. And since we stopped doing the podcast a while back, we stopped doing the fan feedback, and that was my favorite part. And so we brought that back with a question last month for everybody watching, anybody that sees this video, to share with us what was your favorite handheld gaming experience. And we got a ton of feedback. So I printed them up, and I'm going to try and run through all the questions, comments, answers, stuff like that. But a lot of it's just people sharing their personal stories, which was great. So I love the feedback. Please keep it coming. So here we go. So favorite handheld experiences. Larry. Hey Larry. We're back, baby.
Hi, Larry. Just want to say hi.
Larry's like one of our best commenters. He comments all the time on the videos. Yeah, he was a guest on the videos. He's famous. So he commented, he said, tell Dan what's up. He said, you want feedback? Bring back the original show. No, Larry, no. You don't have time for that.
He could be a guest on here, though.
He could come on this. Yeah. We could do a 5-minute segment or something. But so then his comment on the memories was, his fondest memory was playing those Tiger Electronic handheld games. You remember like the little one-game wonders, the little like white square boxes that you would kind of sneak into school and stuff? So he had Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon, Gauntlet, Karnov, and many more. So he had a whole collection of those things. But yeah, those are awesome, and it was definitely a good way to take games on the go before Game Boys and Game Gears and everything got so dominant. So yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for the feedback. Let's see. Samus had a question. He said, "Can I ask questions in the comments here?"
She.
She. Yeah, that's true. Can I ask questions in the comments? I guess I just did. Yeah, that was nice. That's funny. Let's see. This one came in through email. Let's see. David. Okay, so here's my story, and this is a long one, so I'll try and trim this down. So back in the 90s, he worked full-time at Target in Houston. Didn't have a car. Walked to work 5 miles. Took an hour to get to work each way, walking. Damn. And he had a handheld Turbo Express.
No way.
Like, who had those back in the day? Those were so like hard to come by. They're even harder now to come by, but even back then, not a lot of people had those. He had Jackie Chan, Kung Fu, Air Zonk, and he would recharge. He had rechargeable AA batteries, so he would like recharge them every day for that hour to and from work, so he could play. Because those old early handhelds, they ate up batteries. Like you would have to get rechargeable batteries like he did, because otherwise your parents would kill you for like, hey, I need more AA batteries, because it just burned through them. But anyway, did that all the way to work. So really cool story, and thanks for sharing with us. And we don't get very many TurboGrafx stories, so that's awesome to hear. John Riggs commented, famous retro gaming YouTuber. He said trading in his Xbox and a few games for a GBA SP.
Yeah.
Which at the time, he said his friends laughed at him. Like, why would you give up your Xbox for this little Game Boy thing? But he says, I still play that Game Boy SP regularly today. So, which is true. I think, handhelds have such a longer lifespan than a home console because the portability aspect is huge. So, thanks, John, for commenting there. Let's see, from Facebook, I got a comment from Dan. He had the Lynx, and he loved playing when you link Lynxes together. What's a Lynx called?
A Lynx cable.
A Lynx cable. You link two Lynxes. How many links does a link cable link if a link cable could link links?
No.
I don't know. But anyway, he linked up on Lynx to play BMX, and when you would wipe out, your bike would go flying onto the other person's screen. So I didn't even know that, but that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So that's a cool Atari Lynx handheld story. Let's see, Jesse on YouTube. His favorite experience was his parents letting him play the original gray bulky Game Boy every time he got good grades. Now that's a classic. That's a big time, 80s and 90s kids. When you were good, you did your chores, you got good grades, you didn't like beat up your brother or sister, you got to play some video games, and that was a good reward. And so that was what he got to do, is play his Game Boy. Also, he's in the market for one, so okay. So that's good to know. I know a place you can check out. Let's see another comment on YouTube, and this is the longest comment from Video GM42. So thank you, and I'm gonna have to skim though because it's very long. Let's see. Never forget the first experience on an airplane. Let's see. As a kid, had the NES. I remember being shocked and amazed when the guy sitting next to them had Mario on the plane. Because it was, we take it for granted nowadays. Everybody has a phone, everybody has a handheld of some kind, but like, in those days in the 80s, like it was what is that newfangled technology? Like where's the TV? Where's the where do you plug it in? It was really cutting edge. But anyway, somebody was playing Mario on the plane. It just blew his mind. Tetris was the pack-in. He loved that. Let's see, his dad would travel a lot, and he would send his Game Boy with his dad when he would travel. And that he ended up enjoying it so much that he ended up buying his own Game Boy. The dad bought his own Game Boy because the kid sent him with his Game Boy, and then he just got hooked on it and had to buy his own for traveling. So that's really cool. Let's see, and then his grandfather also kept that same old Game Boy in his Lazy Boy for a decade. So like even past like retirement, he'd still sit around and play Game Boy in the house. So yeah, that's a really cool story about Tetris and the many generations of your family that have played. That's awesome. And then he also has some other stories here about let's see, Pokemon Red and Blue. Again, classic handheld games. Let's see, I can't even go into all the details on this. Oh, and then he also has a Virtual Boy. And so he saw one of our videos we did earlier about the Virtual Boy parts, and he was like, oh, cool. It's nice to know that we have, stands and visors and replacement parts for those now. So yeah, and then he asked a question about CGF, which is, he saw we were already sold out of booths. Is that the fastest we've sold out? And the answer is yes. We are sold out, and we sold out the fastest ever this year. So CGF is going to be massive. Katie on Facebook commented, and Katie's a former employee. So what's up, Katie? I remember you. Thanks for commenting. It's good to hear from you. She says it's pretty silly, but she remembers the first time she played A Link to the Past on the very first 3DS system. And it was a tiny metallic bluish one, and hitting that 3D switch to turn it into 3D mode just blew her mind. And I told her on what was this, Facebook? Yeah, I commented back, and I totally remember that too. Like when I first saw a 3DS, I was like, that's the dumbest feature ever. Like how does that even work? And then when you see one in the store and it's in action, you're like, oh my gosh, how do they make that work? Like it really blows your mind to see it the first time. Anyway, so I thought that was really cool too, and thanks for commenting, Katie. Let's see, YouTube comment, Crypto Coffee. I used to bring my Game Boy Color to work with me, play on the downtime, kept me occupied on plane trips in the 90s. When flight entertainment wasn't what it was today, and no smartphones. So that's something else. Like when you travel by plane, now they have a TV on there, or you have your devices. You got Wi-Fi. Some people can even watch TV shows and movies and everything on there. But in the old days, like flying was pretty boring. Like you would just have to sit there and look out the window for 3 hours, and there was nothing else to do except read a book. And so yeah, having some kind of handheld video game to play while you're on a plane is amazing and was a lot of fun. And it made all your neighbors in that row jealous. Let's see, Jules commented, said Game Boy Color, Pokemon Red, Mario, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Tetris, Wario Land, Metal Gear Solid, all good choices. So that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely love those games. Let's see, Charles on YouTube commented, my most memorable experience was playing Pokemon Blue on a Game Boy Pocket. His brother and he went to the store. They got a transparent Game Boy Pocket and Pokemon Red. His birthday was a few weeks before the release of Pokemon in the US, and so they used their birthday money to upgrade their handheld hardware. Let's see, he has an original Game Boy with tape on the back. Do you remember when people had to do that? Because now we sell replacement covers for Game Boys, but back in the day you couldn't get the covers. So once it broke, and they often broke, you would have to put tape on the back to hold the batteries in. So I remember that. I've felt that pain. I've done that same thing. Let's see. So he loved the Game Boy. Okay. Oh, this is a long one too. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to probably go into all this. I'm trying to go through them really fast. I didn't expect to get this many, but we got flooded with comments, which is great. But I'm trying to do a fast run through. Let's see. So yeah, so they played the Pokemon games, Game Boy Pocket, really loved it. And let's see. Now they do local multiplayer on tablet and on Switch. Let's see here. Oh, actually, no, I do want to say this one. So this one was really cool. So another experience that he mentioned was when his son got old enough to play Minecraft. And it took a while before he could figure out the controls on the touchscreen on a tablet to do Minecraft. But Minecraft's the kind of game for kids. It is hard to start doing it, but then once you get into it, kids are like, they build the most amazing stuff on Minecraft. And so once this kid really like took off on Minecraft, they were sitting on the couch playing for hours, and eventually, you know, he went over and started working on a sign and told his dad to like wait till I'm finished. And so then eventually he came over to look at it and it said, "Hi, I love you."
Oh.
So he made his dad a sign that says, "I love you" on Minecraft. Isn't that awesome? So yeah, I love that story too. That's really cool. So he was enjoying his favorite hobby with his son, and then the son took the time to tell how much he loved him. And so, yeah, that's amazing. Let's see. Tim on Facebook says for him it was the GBA. He purchased an imported system in 2001 with Super Mario Advance, and he was amazed that a portable system was capable of 16-bit graphics. And I feel the same way. Like, you know, Game Boy games, that was the one thing. Like, they were portable, and that's great, but they were always kind of like dumbed-down versions of the regular game on the console, right? Like, they were shorter, the graphics were simpler, and stuff like that. But when you got to the Game Boy Advance, and they started porting all those, like, 16-bit Super Nintendo games over, like, you could literally play, like, Mario World on the Game Boy Advance, and it was the exact same game. And that was pretty awesome for me, too. I remember that. And that kind of blowing my mind that you could get true, like, 16-bit games exact, you know, on a Game Boy Advance. So that was really cool. Let's see. Got another email in. Let's see. Two experiences here. One is first device from a late aunt as a birthday gift was an original Game Boy handheld. A copy of NBA All-Star Challenge. Let's see, what's really cool. Got from an Eckerd. Do you remember Eckerd stores? Like, I guess everything is pretty much CVS now, right? Or Walgreens.
I've never heard of that store.
Eckerd's is it was like Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid, you know, one of those kind of stores, like the corner drugstore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where everybody could go. That was relatively close to where people live. So let's see. So had the Game Boy, got an SNES console from Incredible Universe. So the thing I love about this story is the places he went, not so much the stuff, but like he bought something from Eckerd's, and he bought his Super Nintendo from Incredible Universe. And do you know what Incredible Universe is?
Never heard of it.
Incredible. So he said later it became a Fry's Electronics, but like Incredible Universe was like pre Best Buy. It was that kind of like they would have like cool tech stuff there. And then yeah, Fry's and like Best Buy and Circuit City and those kind of stores came out after that. But Incredible Universe was one of the first to be like a tech-centered store. Anyway, second story, he said, as a birthday gift, got a Nintendo DS Lite with a copy of Brain Age. And he would later get to Brain Age 2 also and really loved that series. And later, he became a game developer. And his first job after graduation created some Brain Age-like PC demos using Microsoft software. And you can play the demos with a 360 controller. So basically, his love of handhelds and playing that handheld game put him on a career path to then get, you know, trained as a game developer and to make his own games. So I think that's why the gaming industry is getting so big now, because it's been around so long, people are fans of it for so long, and they've grown up with it and gone to school for it and become experts in it themselves, and then they can make their own games. So it's like the fears of AI, right? Like we're starting to replicate ourselves, and I don't know. But anyway, this is amazing. So thank you guys for all the feedback. That's very, very cool. And for our first attempt at getting the fan feedback in this format is really great. So assignment number 2 for fan feedback. So this one's going to bring it down to the Game Over world. So what was your best experience at a Game Over video game store? Or what questions do you have for me as the owner of Game Over? Either, I guess, about me personally, or more so like about Game Over the stores and the business.
What's your social security number?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. My social number is 555. No, I'm not telling you that. But most non-super personal stuff, I will be happy to share. Anything you want to know. So just comment on this video, comment on Facebook, comment on YouTube. You can email me, info@gameovervideogames.com. Those come to me, and just put fan feedback in the subject and just say, I want to know about this. And it can be about Game Over, about Classic Game Fest, about me personally, or about what was your favorite Game Over experience. So we want your feedback now, so comment, please. And we will see you on the next episode. So that's for your June assignment, and then we'll do a video for that in July showing all the feedback. So thanks for your support as always, and we hope to hear your feedback soon.